good.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm Sam with Renegade Soul 216. You can find me at renegadesoul216.com and at Renegade Soul 216 on all major platforms, social media platforms. I am sitting here with my client, Andrea, and I just wanted to go over some stuff with you because Andrea's had amazing results, and I just want to talk about basically how, maybe not how easy it is, but how doable fitness really is. Because Andrea's lost how many pounds?
I think like 65.
About 65 pounds. But more than that, she has totally transformed her entire body. So I just want to talk to Andrea in front of you guys so that you can hear her story. This is just a regular woman, a teacher, and kindergarten teacher. God bless her. And just so that you can hear from her what happened over the last year and some months, year and a few months.
Yep.
So what made you come to Renegade Soul?
I post-pandemic, so I started with Sam, excuse me, in July 2022. So 2022. So this past July was a year, and then this July will be like a year and a half.
Oh my gosh.
So I post-pandemic, I literally didn't recognize myself anymore. I've never been this weight. This is definitely my fittest, smallest weight. Not that pounds matter, the scale matters, but just to put in perspective, I've always been fit and athletic. I have played sports my whole life, played sports through college, have always been into working out. And before I came to you, all of my clothes, nothing was fitting. Getting ready was me crying in the closet. My now fiance, being like, "You look great. It's okay." Yeah. I didn't recognize myself, and I just looking through pictures would be like, you don't really recognize because nobody around you says anything who sees you every day. Yeah. It took me kind of pictures and going back in my phone roll to be like, geez, something has really changed. Yeah. So I remember Ryan, who you train. I remember looking at his Instagram, and he's always got stories at the Volt and selfies in the mirror, and I'm just like, you look so great. Who is your trainer? Tell me a little bit about her. Sent me your Instagram handle, and I remember I messaged you, and I said, Ryan's one of my friends. I would love to work out with you. Where are you located pricing wise? Just give me some info. And so you did, and I immediately said, oh, I live in Ohio City. Cleveland Heights is so far. And your response was very blunt and just, no, it isn't, but okay. It was something like, no, I could probably go back years and see it, but it was in very Sam way. No, it isn't, but okay, see you soon, or see ya. and just how you weren't trying to reel me in. It was just very well, then that's on you. I was more drawn to that because then I was like, this bitch doesn't care. She's like, I don't need you need me. And so, I think I started training with you probably a week or so later. Yeah.
That is very, so we have not talked about that ever. But listening to you say it now, I'm like, oh, I definitely.
And knowing her now, that is so Sam. She was just like, okay, then. I mean, right. It isn't, but okay.
Yeah, because Ohio City really isn't that.
No, it takes me 17 minutes to get there in the morning, and I actually enjoy the drive. I wake up at 4:30. I try to leave the house by 5 so I can do a little cardio before. It preps me. I'm doing some thinking before the day. No, I feel like now myself any drive is worth it. Now, if you're round trip commuting an hour or so, that might be a little long, but 25 minutes to get the workout that I do, it's worth it. It's beyond worth it.
So let's stay right there for just a moment because I just want to ask you, the first time that you drove from Ohio City to where I'm located, did you say to yourself before you left, I can't even believe that I'm getting ready to do this?
I think so. I think I was so fed up with myself, though, too, and all of my excuses that I was like, enough is enough. I don't care what the drive is like. That I was just like, something has to be done.
Yeah.
So, and I was also nervous. I didn't know what to expect.
And then you get to the vault and you meet this crazy bitch.
Yeah, and like I wish I could remember my first day. I remember the beginning sessions and like me getting to know you, but I don't remember the first day specifically. Do you?
I don't remember the first day.
I don't.
I remember the first few months.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you guys, I didn't like Andrea.
I know! And it's so sad, but now I'm okay with it. But
you know, it was just a moment, a time period where we really had to get to know each other.
We did.
Because I come from a background of, you know, really having to come through a lot of bullshit every day just to get to the next spot. And so then Andrea, you know, for me, this little whiny white girl, and she's like complaining about the weight and this and that, and I'm like, what the fuck do you want me to do?
Yeah. And always like in disbelief. So like, I can't do that. Yes. Like now I know, even if I say that I'm joking, because if she's put me to it, if she gives me something to do, I know that it's because I can do it, even though I don't want to do it. Like, I'll look at her as being like 95 pounds, you know. But I know I clearly can do it. That's why she's giving it to me. Yeah, I was whiny.
But at first, there was this moment where you were sick of your own shit, but not to the point where you were just going to do whatever I told you to do. Yeah, let's talk about that day you changed the weight. Do you remember that day? You changed the weight on the abduction where you were pushing out.
Just recently?
Nope. Oh, in the very beginning, you changed the weight.
Oh, because you told me something and I did what I did.
Well, okay, here's what happened.
God, that's like so mean.
I put the weight on, let's just say it was on 100.
Okay, yeah.
And I said, you know, sit here, do 100. Yeah. And she decided it was just too heavy. But that was what she always said in the beginning. I can't do this. I can't do this. Yeah. And so she changes the weight, and someone else spots it and says, she changed the weight on it.
Oh my gosh, I don't remember that.
And I lose my shit, you know? I go back like, you don't change the weight, I change the weight.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm like in disbelief.
You don't remember that?
Scary. No, I would never do that.
I could remember.
I would never do that now.
It's probably Kelly who's standing in the
snitch.
Wondering like, who?
I know.
It was someone. I'll put it in the chat. We have this renegade chat.
Oh my gosh! Now I want to know who snitched on me.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know who it was. It might have been.
Yeah, it probably was. It was probably
D. Because we went snitch on each other.
Well, because you know there are trainers at the vault, and then there are trainer-in-laws, and so D is another trainer, but there's so many of us, and we always are watching each other's clients. And we tell when something isn't quite right.
Yeah. I can't. That's very brave of me, thinking back.
Yeah. Well, but you didn't know either.
No,
you were just like, look, this shit's heavy. I don't know what this bitch got me doing. It might have been like one of your first days. Yeah. Right.
That's insane.
But in the very beginning, this is just to prove the point. In the beginning, I was just like, well, what is she doing here? If she doesn't want to do the shit, don't fucking come. Yeah. You know, so that's where I was with it. But Ryan, who is crazy about you.
I love him.
We all love him. And we all love you, by the way. But
thank you.
But he just kept saying, give her a moment.
Yeah.
Give her
thanks,
some grace,
Ryan.
Right? You got to give her a chance. You just got to get through this and yada, yada, yada. And she gets through it. And week after week, like, I don't know. We didn't even take your picture again for months.
I know.
Yeah. So one day, why don't you tell that story? Because
So let's see. So if I started in July, we took photos the first day in July, my first day in July. And then I think I said something to you, maybe it was like February. And I said, we haven't taken photos in forever. And you're like, well, when's forever? And I go, I don't think since my first day. And you were like, no way. There's no way we haven't taken pictures since your first day. And so we took pictures that day, and it was like crazy different. And you don't see, like, even though I was doing weigh-ins whenever you would say weigh-in, which isn't too often, but, you know, I had seen that I had been losing weight numbers-wise, but you don't see your own self, you know, camera-wise. And so looking at those, like, I'm, you know, because you put a side-by-side then, and I'm scrolling back and forth, and I'm like, I look at that girl and I'm like, who is that? Like, even my fiance is like, he'll make a joke. He loved me regardless, but would just be like, who was that? Like, that was not you. It didn't fit me. Like, it almost is like, even though that physically was me, that's not like emotionally me, mentally me. It just doesn't fit. Yeah.
So let's talk about the time between the first day and then the second picture.
Sure.
So we began working out. You're twice a week. You're still just twice a week.
Yep. Monday, Wednesday.
Monday and Wednesday. There came a point where I said to you, you need to do Stairmaster for about 20 minutes.
Yeah, and I from that day I have ever since.
Okay, so this is a very important point here because, and that's when I said, and I mean, you were faithful with it. I was leaving out the door, and Andrea is still on Stairmaster, so I had to get another trainer to make sure to keep an eye on her because we are a training facility, and you just can't be there without your trainer. So I would get other trainers to watch her, and I'm like, oh, she is really into this. And that's when I started to be like, all right, maybe she's all right.
Okay,
But let's talk about that time frame because you were given instruction and you just did it. But then something else happened and you started doing more running. So you want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure, yeah. So I was coming in, I was getting there right at 5:45 for my workout, or at the time it would be 6. I was getting there right when the workout started, and I was leaving to get to school right when the workout ended.
Yep.
And so even though my job is busy and I'm on my feet most of the day and I was, closing rings and getting steps in, I wasn't doing any sort of extra cardio other than my workout. And so Sam tells me, why don't you start to, I asked you, I said, can we start at 5:45 instead of 6 so that I can do some time after, just because with school I got to go. So I started coming earlier, and then that way I was getting that Stairmaster time in. And I to this day I do. I mean, I never leave unless I have to for some reason. I'm always doing cardio right after a workout, which I love. I look forward to it because the workout is so tough, doable, but tough. I look forward to because that's kind of when I'm like, okay, I've done the really hard work and now I can kind of just listen to music or I catch up on a show or I'm scrolling through and I just get that time to myself to just stairs. And then in addition to that, I've also been a runner most of my adult life. I've run 2 marathons and plenty of half marathons. But now that I had lost all the weight, I was doing my first half marathon in Chicago this past September. And I have never run so fast in my life because I'm so much lighter and fitter now that it goes hand in hand. Like all of my fitness and strength training now has made me a better runner too. And so in my training, I was running up to 25 miles a week. And for a while you were like, oh, you've run your ass off, which is true. I have.
No, literally.
No, I know. It's sad.
The ass is gone.
It is. It's coming back though.
It is coming back. But she's done with the marathon and we've really went after that ass.
So now I'm like running maybe 12 miles a week, which is better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the point here is that it takes more than just your 2 days a week.
Totally.
Abs come from what you're doing in the kitchen and your cardio, right? So I can recall a time. This will sound silly, but again, she teaches kindergartners. We would be talking about food, and she'd be like, "Oh no, I like my snacks. I got a drawer full of snacks," and I'd be like, "You can't just eat the snacks."
No, that's what got me really like. I gained so during COVID. I can't even remember years, but I'm just going to say I do it like by school years. So that whenever COVID happened in that February, come March, we were sent home for the rest of the school year and had to do virtual. And then the new school year, which would be a fresh start, fresh routines, well, we were at home until, did I do that? Was that whole year virtual or no, we came back in the spring?
No, I think that whole year was virtual.
And so I was at home teaching kindergarten. I was, sitting most of the time. I would be like on my couch or I had like a chair set up with a desk. And so I would teach and then I'd have breaks in between. And I was running out to get Jimmy John's every day. Like I looked forward to food so much. I know that's kind of sad to say, but I wasn't doing anything else. Like I wasn't going to school and seeing my friends every day and interacting with people. Like I was home day after day after day, which people who work from home, good for you. It was not for me. I am like such a people person. But then when we came back into the classroom, all those bad habits that I had sort of gotten due to COVID, being at home, being in my pantry is there. I can order Uber Eats all the time. I brought those to school with me. And the goldfish, the pretzels, the fruit
Mhm.
snacks, all the stuff that I have for my kids during snack time, I was eating, and I'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, it's just a handful, or it's just a small, little Dixie cup that they're having, and that stuff adds up. Like, never
So
believed it
fast.
before. It does.
Yeah.
If you tell yourself, oh, well, I didn't have lunch today, I just had a few handfuls of this, those handfuls are what kill you.
Yeah.
It's
And
so
we've had
true.
multiple tough conversations around that.
Yes.
Like, we would be in the weight room arguing
Yes.
about chicken fucking nuggets.
Yes.
Like,
Yes. Yes.
And so what's your relationship with food now?
My relationship with food is mostly to fuel myself, but don't get me wrong. Like, you had a burger today, it's your Friday. I am not afraid, and I don't shame myself or feel uncomfortable if I have a few pieces of pizza. If I have a few pieces of pizza for dinner and I followed up with ice cream, I don't think to myself, oh, and this is what I used to do. Oh, because I had a bad day, I have to quote unquote starve myself the next day, which only led to you binging more and then just feeling so bad about it and saying, oh, well, I ruined 1 in 2 days, and here it is, it's Tuesday, the whole week is gone. Like, my mentality used to so very much be all or nothing.
Yeah.
If I've ruined a few days, I've ruined the week. And if I ruined the week, then I ruined the month.
The month is done, yeah.
And so now it's like, because I've seen that my body can handle junk food, and it knows exactly what to do with it the next day, I crave good foods because I said, well, I got to enjoy myself, but I didn't ruin anything, and I didn't gain weight just because I had a cheeseburger and pizza and ice cream on the same day. I feel like shit, but I didn't really gain. My body hasn't changed.
Yep.
And I used to never really believe that too. Like, you always make me feel good about this because
Because we've had this conversation.
Whether it's like I've gone away for a long weekend and I drank and ate everything under the sun because I wanted to, and you'd say, okay, weigh in tomorrow, and I'd be like, no, Sam, like, I'm afraid.
No.
I like text her, I text her and she can totally read my emotion through the chat, and she'll like, you'll be fine, period. And I'm like, ugh. And then I'm fine. I get on the scale and I haven't gained any weight, maybe a pound, and I'm like, it shows you your body knows what to do when you've trained it for long enough.
Yeah.
And then so it encourages you to have those days or those weekends and not be afraid of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I went through a very similar experience because, my coach, I'm a competitor. And so my coach, Brian, during COVID, during pandemic, we were at home making homemade fucking donuts.
It made you feel good.
Banana bread.
Speaking of banana bread, we'll come back to that.
Okay, I'll remember to ask you. But he would say, you can't live this shit every day.
No.
You have to take breaks. And so when you would talk about what you ate, and I'd be like, it's fine. You do have to live.
Sure.
It can't be stringent every day, 24/7. It's not realistic. And if you try to make that your reality, you will quit. Right. That's an important. If you don't hear anything else in this interview, if you try to make the most unrealistic thing your reality, you will quit.
Because it's unattainable.
It's unattainable. So it was okay. It was very eye-opening with Andrea, especially because at first she was adamant about nope, goldfish all day, chicken nuggets, macaroni and cheese bites. All of that to, oh my God, I ate so bad. And I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah. I know. It's a very comforting feeling like this past week. My fiance and I had like a crazy Wednesday. I had all the ingredients to cook. That was the plan, but we had a crazy Wednesday evening. Some things went awry, and we were like, let's get Five Guys. Yeah. I had the burger. I ate the fries. I went to bed. I wasn't guilty about it. I gave myself what I needed, a quick meal, and then I moved on. It wasn't like, oh, it's Wednesday, it's the middle of the week, and I had a burger. Like, the whole week is shot. So it feels, it's really comforting to know that you can indulge and it's okay. Yeah. Like, not this idea of now I have to punish myself. Yeah. It's just horrible. And I know so many people feel that way.
So many people feel that way. What was I supposed to come back to?
Banana bread.
Banana bread.
So in the beginning, do you remember this? Do you know where I'm going with this? Oh. One of my first few weeks, were you cutting weight then?
No, not okay. But I think I had just finished. Okay. And so I was still kind of in this mindset of, I'm not eating
talk
that.
About a day that I thought I was never going to come back to the vault. Do you know? Do you know what I'm going to say? Yes. She's such a brat. So It was like
love
the
you
first
too.
few weeks, and here I was thinking I love baking, and so I made banana bread with dark chocolate chips, right? And I like when I bake, if I can make it clean, I will. It was like, with Greek yogurt and something, and in my mind, it was healthy. So of course I had like 7 pieces in the same day, so it's healthy. Well, I had some extra, so I come Monday morning, and I've got it in a Ziploc bag, and I walk up to her, and she still didn't like me, and I was like, I baked some dark chocolate banana bread over the weekend. Do you want a piece? And she looked at the Ziploc bag like that. She goes, I can't have that. And I remember I went to the bathroom and I cried because I was
Oh my God, did you?
I was so embarrassed that I had brought, and then like I told Jonathan about it, my fiance, and he was like, you brought your trainer banana bread? And I was like, but it was healthy-ish. Or so I thought. Now I bring her post.
This is right after competition.
Yeah, competition. I brought her peanut butter cups, and I give her.
And I'm like,
Dunkin' Donuts gift cards. And now I'm like, she doesn't want to eat it. That's her problem. But
yeah,
I feel like the banana bread kind of shows how our relationship has evolved.
Yes.
If that bitch doesn't want to eat it, she doesn't have to, but I'm going to give it to her anyway. So I'm not going to feel bad about it.
So I want to talk about that dynamic though, because you've become you've become stronger in your body, but very strong in your personality as well.
Thank you. I agree.
I think that the Renegade program was good for you.
Very.
That's number one.
Very.
But you really grew through the process. And so I want to make sure that we touch on that, because fitness is not just about changing your body.
No.
You have to make a lot of adjustments in your mind, right? You have to adjust what you're eating, your lifestyle, what you keep in the house. You have to adjust what you're thinking about all the time, right? So if that is what's going on, and then there's this shift in your atmosphere, then everything else will shift too.
And it comes naturally.
And it comes very naturally.
Like it sounds like a lot. So for people who are thinking of starting or are afraid to start, all of that sort of sounded like a lot. Like, okay, I have to start thinking about all my food, and I have to start thinking about what I keep in the house, and I have to start thinking better about myself, and I have to be more confident. You're not actively thinking about it. It just comes.
Yeah.
Like it just comes. Like being at the Volt with you guys, now I can hang with the best of them, because there's so many big I mean, we are all the biggest personality, and we all love ourselves.
The Renegade crew is nothing but big personality.
And I felt like I would just look at everybody and be like, God, I just love how carefree and loud they are. And now I'm like, I can hang with them just as much.
Andrea's pretty loud now.
I am loud.
Yeah. When she used to be this little wimpy white girl.
I know.
Oh no, I can't.
But I think
totally different.
I think I was different. Well, just because of the weight, I wasn't myself. Like, this is who I am. It's not like I've become this. I feel like I always was this, but
and
I had no confidence. Yeah, and we exposed it. You exposed it. Yeah.
Well,
yeah, that's exactly. Yeah.
Because let's talk about the Renegade crew. Because when you join Renegade Soul, you get adopted into this family of people.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter your background or anything. Like, we have different races, different sexes, different sexualities. Like, we have some of everybody, and it's a community.
It is.
And then outside of Renegade, the Vault itself is a huge community.
It is.
Yeah. So you grow a lot. And so a lot of those conversations that we're talking about, how you evolved naturally, a lot of that came through conversations that we're having in the weight room.
Yeah, for sure.
So I just think I want you guys to know how important that is, because I don't think that, your transition is one of few that's like yours, right? But it's not undoable. It should be way more. We have quite a few people within the gym, but there are several renegades, but you just went all the way in. And I think that has a lot to do with kind of being pushed and pulled and tugged. Yeah. Like, suck it up, bitch. Yeah. Go lift that shit. And it's like, she's like, I don't think that I can. I'm like, go lift that shit and don't come back until you do.
Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah.
And then, you got this amazing body, and now she's getting married, and we're talking about what the wedding dress will look like. Yeah. And, she's
open back
all day, right?
Yeah. Well, and I just want to give kudos to you, Sam, because, and I like, I text you this every once in a while, and I just say, I love you. I really do. I want you to know how appreciated you are, because she is a very strong personality and can come off very hard. That is, no one would disagree with me. But she is like, I feel like her personality is for everyone. Like, when someone comes in and they're upset, and you might not be mouthing off so much because you know that they just need a little bit more that day. Yeah. You're a people person. And so, and you care about us. You truly do. And I think everybody in the gym feels that way. Otherwise we wouldn't stick around for so long. Like, I probably would have given up if you and I hadn't eventually sort of clicked. I would have been like, I'm uncomfortable. This place isn't for me. I can't do it. She makes me do too hard of things. Like, once you click, I look forward to, and this is not a joke. This is not just, make sure you say this. I look forward to my workout every Monday and Wednesday. Yeah. Sometimes if I have a makeup day, the third day, but I love the gym. I love the minute I walk in there, the positivity. And this sounds cliche. The Volt is the best gym I've ever worked out at. Aww. Everybody is there for one reason, to feel good. And people are not afraid to shout across the way and say, girl, you look so good. I noticed you taking selfies. Like, people I've never, I've a few of Dee's clients and people I've never talked to before will just come up to me and give compliments, and I give them back. Like, our goal, our everyday goal as people should be to make people feel good, right? It takes so much more to bring people down. So it feels good if, this person you've never talked to, I see him at the lockers taking off my sweatpants. I'll be like, you look good. And they'll be like, are you talking to me? I've never talked to you before. Just, it's all feel good. It's really feel good.
Good. That's all we ever really want. You know,
it's special.
It's a very special place. Mm-hmm. I think the program that we've been able to put together is a very special program. Mm-hmm. And I think the people that we have around us, very special people. Like, and they say that you attract exactly who you are, right? Yeah. But, so I don't know. All of y'all are
every session she goes, y'all are crazy. I'm like, because you are. You're crazy. You don't realize it.
I mean, we talk about everything in that weight room. Yeah, and it's all in the name of lifting heavy. Okay, I got 12 reps of a 95-pound dumbbell. I had to squat with this 15 times. But we're also talking about which celebrity dick pic came out.
I mean, honestly, everything. And it's fun because you naturally have like just gained a bunch of friends.
Yes.
Even if you don't talk to the people outside of the gym for that hour, those are your friends. You jump right in and it's anything goes.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Here's the kicker though. We leave the gym and then we just jump into the chat room.
Yeah. And just talk about it in the chat. Yeah.
So it really is a full community. It is. So you have lost about 65 pounds. Mm-hmm. What's next for you?
Okay. So don't like quote me, even though this is going to be
we're quoting like a motherfucker.
When Dee asked me yesterday, she looked at me and goes, so when's your show? And I was like, what? Maybe it would be kind of fun to try it. I don't know.
I totally think so.
I don't know. Just because I've seen my body transform, I love muscles. Like, I'm obsessed with them.
When did you begin to love muscles?
I just love them. Like, the video you took the other day, I was like, dude, I can't believe my back looks like that. Yeah. I don't know. It could be fun.
Fun?
I don't know about fun. It would be, it's the same thing when I started running and I said I could never run a marathon, and now I run 2 of them. Mm-hmm. I like to do hard things. Yes. I like to say that I have done it or I've tried it, completed it. I'm a big task master. Mm-hmm. So that would be an interesting journey to go to. But in the meantime, just keep working out and getting more ripped. I want to have arms like you. Remember I said that?
Yes. My arms are, they're very modest. But I always say that if you want to know what your body can do, go compete.
I know,
because you will max it out. By totally shredding and seeing what your body can truly, truly do. So that's actually really good, because when Dee said it, I was already thinking it. So I'm looking at your body. I remember the first time I saw you come in basically nothing.
I know.
You used to come in fully clothed, right?
The clothes have changed,
and I'm like, y'all see this?
I know. You do? That's really funny. Was I wearing short shorts and a sports bra?
And a sports bra. Yeah. And we were like,
I know.
What?
And I think it was it was post a good amount of weight loss, but it wasn't where I am now.
Yeah.
And I think I remember just being like, oh, fuck it, I'm just going to do it. And I'm telling you, you can wear whatever you want at that gym, big, small, ripped or not. Everybody, like, people wear it, they own it.
Yep.
People will tell you look good. Like,
Yeah.
very comfortable. Yeah, I know. Now I wear like zero clothes. We were just talking
And
about
she has
ordering
the
new workout
cutest
clothes.
outfits, and it's
Thanks.
like, where'd you get that?
Thank
like, even
you.
I'm not wearing shit like that, girl. Okay, that's good.
I remember you saying one time, I think it was Philly that told you guys, like, you can't work what you can't see.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So we talk about. He makes us take off our shirts.
Uh-huh.
If I'm wearing a hoodie,
Yeah.
Because it's cold in the gym,
Yeah.
for example.
Yes, it is.
After a few rounds
Yeah.
of exercises, he goes, well, when you taking that off?
Right, right.
And I'm like, it's cold. He's
Yeah.
like, well, I can't work what I can't
Yeah.
see, you know.
Yeah.
And it goes to show you when
Yeah.
I took that video the other day, you were doing lateral raises, but
Yeah.
your back was ripped.
I know.
And so it's like, yeah, here's the proof right here. I
Yeah.
can see all of this.
Yeah.
But you also weren't wearing any
Yeah.
clothes.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Right.
yeah.
I know. I think back to when I was heavy. I remember I ordered like a bunch of long sleeve workout tops from Amazon and really high waisted pants and like wanted to cover everything. And now I'm thinking it might not be the most comfortable or the prettiest in my eyes, but like had I worn skimpier clothes when I was heavy working out, like would that motivate me? You know? I think we need to be able to see what we need to work.
Yeah. But every time you look at the before and after photos, you still drive me nuts.
Oh my God.
That.
I hate looking at it, Sam. It's like when you hear your own voice, you know, you're like, oh my gosh, that's what I sound like. I cannot look at those pictures.
But
they're horrifying.
So you focus in on the before picture and you never really look at the after. And everybody else is looking at the after and I'm like, this is dope. And she's like, this is gross. And I'm like, you focused on all the wrong things. So we still got a little bit of work to do, right? Yes. But I say all that to say that we're getting there. I think that we're really getting there.
We are.
So anything else you want to add to your journey altogether or speak to?
It becomes, so in the beginning, you definitely have to work at it and make a conscious effort to whatever your goal is, make them attainable because the goal, it gets, I don't know if I should say easier. It just becomes so much more natural. Like working out, fitness, moving, lifting, feeling good, feeling right. It comes naturally as you go. And now it's like my off day is my hardest day. On Sundays, I like look at my watch and I'm like, should I do something? And Jonathan will be like, today's relax, just relax. Sam, like, but I should probably like do something. I'll like look at my arm. I'm like, oh, it's my off day. I lost all my muscle. So when I think Bridget posted this, something like when your off day becomes your hardest day, you know that you've made it. Or because I look forward to all the feel good things that come with exercising and movement. And it's good for not just our bodies and how we look, but mentally, emotionally, everything. I've probably had like way less emotional breakdowns in the past year and a half. That's for sure. Because this like fills a part, you know? Yeah.
We do call it therapy now.
It is.
Exercise therapy. Yeah.
It is. Yeah. Join Renegade Soul. It's awesome.
Thank you for that plug that I did not.
No, she did not. But everybody that Instagram messages me, I tell them, they're like, who's your trainer? What do you do? I'm like, join, just come, reach out to her.
Yeah, I post you all the time.
I know. And
it's because, though, like, people really and truly, like, your body wasn't the worst. Let me just, okay? It wasn't the worst.
Okay.
But so many people look like that. So I would argue, especially post-COVID, that so many of us put on weight because we were literally just sitting around doing nothing.
Yeah.
Eating everything.
Yeah.
And so your before picture represents so many people, which is why I post you so often, because you just, like, I use your words all the time. I was sick of my own shit.
Yeah.
And when you woke up and you just decided you were sick of your own shit, you just went for it. You just did it. And then you had to face this crazy black girl who's always just like, fuck you, go do that shit. And then
black lipstick days are the worst.
Oh, stop. What about the red lipstick days?
Scary too. Scary too, but black's the worst.
So I'm just so proud of you.
Thank you.
I love you so much.
I love you, Sam. Thank you.
I'm so glad that you're here. here,
Mhm.
meaning in this space,
Mhm.
in this head space,
Me too.
in this fitness space. You're just doing it. Her ass is starting to come back, but
Mhm.
it's almost time to run it off again.
I know.
Are you doing another half marathon or another
Probably
full?
in the spring. Yeah, I know. I have to eat more protein, that's for sure.
Yes. And you may need to add a third day because we need to combat this.
I know. Now I'm doing legs both days, and I always say to her, on Mondays is like used to strictly be legs, which I was fine with. Then Wednesdays I was always like, yes, upper body, shoulders, biceps, triceps, and now we do kickbacks and other things too. And I always like, but Sam, I already
you ran
did
your ass
legs.
off. But you ran your ass off. So
I know. Now I appreciate it because I do see it like coming back, and I'm like, okay,
yeah,
she knows what she's doing.
I mean, every now and then I do know
you
what
do.
I'm doing. So, all right, I'm gonna hit y'all with that. I'm done, Kelly. I'm done, Kelly. You know. So I'm done, Kelly. But just this one last point, and I just want to make sure that everyone gets this. This is a very doable journey,
Mm-hmm.
but you just have to start, right? So if
Start.
you never just start, if your day one never comes, then neither will the result.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to deem yourself worthy of it and just go for it. At some point, you got to be sick of your own shit.
Mm-hmm.
And you just got to decide to hire a trainer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I prefer that it's me, but it doesn't always have to be me. I'm not the perfect fit for everyone. We have a gym full of trainers, and it's the most amazing place. But, you know, Renegade, of course, is, you know, Renegade is Renegade, and we are, you know, who we are. But, again, you attract exactly who you are. Although I think I got a couple people on the roster right now that's nothing like me, which is very interesting.
Yeah, it's fun. Makes every day different.
But deep down inside, they, you know, I'm thinking of one in particular. I'm thinking of Leslie. She really is a little bit more like me than she would.
Yeah, I know you've been saying that recently.
Because she just says little things, and I'm like, I knew it. You know?
Yeah, she's sneaky.
She's a little sneaky, but I'm just so glad that the Renegade program looks the way that it looks. We do a lot of community building. I am a community organizer by nature. That's my first ever profession, and I've always stuck with community stuff. And so when I started Renegade Soul, it was based on, you know, social determinants of health, social community, you know, and how do we build a community that makes people evolve naturally because they are supported by so many other people, not just me. Because if it's just me, you're not going to get what you need. But if we have so many people around us, the Ryans, the Stephanies, the Kellys, the Miss Sundays, right? Everybody. So then you can really start to see some results. But also very important, it is, how old are you?
35.
35. This is a perfect age, right? So I have 35 and up, basically. I don't think there's anyone younger than that.
Ryan's 34.
So
I know.
You know.
I know. But he would probably watch us and be like, bitch, I'm younger.
Yeah, he would. Yeah. He would. But everyone is in a different space. And it's important to note that if you put on the muscle now, by the time you get to 55, you don't have to worry about putting on that muscle, getting ready for menopause. And then, because once menopause hit, honey, it's over. You can't combat that. So you need plenty of muscle in your system already to help you burn that fat. So this is a very important journey. I'm glad you're on it. I'm glad you're with me.
Me too.
I'm glad that you stuck it out.
Me too.
And I just love her, and she's got some amazing results. So any last words for the viewers?
Start your first day. Just start.
Just start. Yeah. So I'm Sam Pierce, again, Renegade Soul 216. That is renegadesoul216.com, and then at Renegade Soul 216 across all media, social media platforms. Make sure you check us out and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.
I think that's it.
That was fun.